Okay. Hi everyone. It is Friday. It's piano time. So I'm really happy to bring you this sixth lesson in our COVID-19 children's virtual piano lesson series. So we are totally happy because, can you believe it? This is your sixth lesson. Way to go for getting through all these weeks of piano, huh? I hope you're feeling confident. That's definitely an accomplishment, keeping up with something for 6 weeks. Imagine how it's going to be in 6 months. Amazing, huh? Great, all right. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Linnea. Hi, Miles. Glad you could join us. All right, well, to start, we've got to, of course, hit the share button if you can. Just let everybody know that it's piano time. The second thing, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Look for Izzy Chia, and you can find my YouTube channel. The third thing, of course, if you haven't joined the private group, you probably should, so you can get that one-on-one feedback from me. The name of the group is Encore Music Makers. Okay, put your request in. And the last thing, of course, is if you haven't ordered your books, you need to go ahead and do that. Or it's going to be kind of tricky to keep up with lessons without your books, okay? All right, well, let's review our songs from last week, okay? All right, so we're going to open our lesson book. Very nice. And we are going to start with a happy song, right? So that one was on, let's see, what page was that? That one was on page 15, okay? And this was a right hand only song. You're reading in the treble staff, okay? And I got to see some of those fantastic videos that you've posted. Wow, you guys really know your treble staff. I'm impressed. So let's switch to piano view and we will play through a happy song, okay? All right, let's do this. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna find our C position. Yeah. Oh, hi, Claire. Hi, Hannah. All right. Okay, so we're in our C position. Are you there? Do you have your thumb on your middle C and your finger 5 pinky on G? Great. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to count off. 1, 2, ready, play. Pretty great. I'm happy for you guys. You got through, and that song did not have a repeat, did it? So you just got to play it one time through. Awesome. We got to do a 1 second party. Are you ready? Let's do it. 1 second party, 1 second party. All right. Okay, let's switch over to our second song for this past week. We were practicing position C, and that one was on page 17, okay? So turn the page in your book. And remember, this was our very first song that we were reading on the grand staff. And if you remember, the grand staff is sort of like that sandwiched together treble staff and bass staff on the bottom, right? We read our notes on those lines and spaces written on that staff. So let's get into position C and play through the song, okay? Let's do it. All right, so here we are. Now, I know where my right hand goes in C position. I've got my thumb, right hand, finger 1 on C. I'm going to count down 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. And that G right there is going to be where my left hand finger 1 will go, okay? Everybody there? Fantastic. Okay, so let's play through position C. Now you notice this one's a mezzo forte. This one's not quite as loud as our happy song, because that one was a forte. So I'm going to play this sort of like a medium loud, and you should too. Okay, so let's count off. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. That was really great. Okay, I need another adjective. So let's see. Let's say that was stupendous. That was really, really wonderful. I enjoyed that so much. Can you believe it? Give yourself a pat on the back. You just passed both your songs this week. All right. Do the other one too. All right. Okay, cool. Well, I have one more new cheer that I want to show you. One of my students does it, and it's really funny. We call it the satellite cheer. So when you want to give yourself a satellite cheer, you got to make satellite beep noises, okay? So let's do a satellite cheer. I'll show you. Beep, 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 beep. There you go. There's your satellite cheer. It's super silly. But I like them. They're so funny. All right. Well, we are ready to move on and get our new stuff, aren't we? Okay. All right. So now everyone turn to page 18. We've got measuring distance in music. Okay. We're going to be learning some really cool stuff today, all right? Now, with measuring distance in music, there's a special word. It's called interval. Okay, can you say it? Say the word interval. Nice work. Interval. And that is exactly what it is. We are measuring distance in music. That's what's called an interval. And the interval that we're going to learn today is the interval of a second. So you can probably think of the notes that we're playing in a second. They're going to be notes right next to each other. Okay? Now, that's just the distance of one note, right? So that's a second. If we see in our music, we will find that seconds are going to be written line note to space note or space note to line note. Okay? All right. And we can see an example of that at the top there of page 18 under the blue box. There's an example line right there. So let's see if we can play through that. It's just in a regular grand staff C position. So let's find that spot. And we'll play through that warm-up line, okay? It is like math. You're right. Linnea, you're so right. Yes, it's like in math. It's the interval of a second, measuring distance. So we're going to start with the left hand C, pinky 5, okay? And we're going to travel up and then back down. I'll count off. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, up a second, up a second, now down a second, and down a second. Yeah. It kind of sounds like we're moving in steps, right? Like when you go up the stairs, you go up one step at a time, right? Now let's play the right hand line next to it, okay? This one's also going to be sounding like steps, okay? We're going to start with a finger 1, C, on, on C, okay? You ready? I'll count off. 1, 2, ready, play. Up a second, up a second, down a second, and down a second. 2, 3, 4. How did you do on that? Was that pretty straightforward? It wasn't too tricky, was it? It's just moving up by steps, right? Now, our first song with learning the interval of a second is called Just a Second. So it's kind of like a play on words, right? We're learning the interval of a second, but if you think about seconds in terms of time, sometimes people say, just a second, like they're asking you to wait, right? So we're kind of playing around with that today, okay? So looking here at just a second, we're going to be in that grand staff C position, Okay, we're going to begin with our right hand, finger 1 on C, and it looks like it's going to be a mezzo forte. Okay, let's see if we can switch to piano view and let's learn this song. All right, so we are going to start in that C position, right hand thumb on C, count down 1, 2, 3 notes, and there's my left hand thumb on G, okay? Now if you notice, there are some repeating notes here. I see finger 1 middle C played 3 times, and then I move up 1 step in the interval of a second. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. I'll play it pretty slow, okay? 1, 2, ready, play. C, 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 up to D, 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 up to E, 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 up to F, 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 up to G. Wow, that was cool. Okay, so now we're going to do the left hand line. It starts on a finger 5 on C. Let's play. 1, 2, ready, play. Up to D, 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 up to E, 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 up to F. Ooh, F again. And it goes down to E, down to D, and down to C. Ooh, they kind of tricked you on that, huh? That left hand line, I was expecting it to be just like the right hand line, right? But it wasn't. They tricked you. So we have to pay extra close attention and watch those notes on the staff because they like to throw those tricks in there to make sure you're paying attention. All right, let's play it through once more, okay? Okay, let's do it. All right, so I have found my spot here, and I'm going to count down from my left hand, and I think I'm ready. Are you ready? Fantastic. Okay, so let's start with the right hand finger 1. Are you ready? 1, 2, ready, play. Up to D, up to E, up to F, and G. Now left hand. Up to D, up to E, up to F, F, down to E, down to D, down to C. Very good. Hey, how did you feel about that song? You felt okay? It's a little bit tricky when you're trying to navigate that left-hand line. But I think with some practice for this week, you'll understand the pattern of how it is ascending or going up, and then how the left hand at the very end, it switches it up. And instead of going all the way up to G, you're going to flip it back around at F and descend or go down all the way to C. Okay? Just pay close attention, okay? Wonderful. Well, how do you feel about that song? Very good? Awesome. Was that one a tricky one, Linnea? It's okay. With some practice, I think you'll be able to get it, okay? And don't forget, we have practice with me on Monday. So if you want some extra help, I'll help you on Monday, okay? Okay, now, wow. Okay, so page 19. Do you see 2 blue boxes at the top of 19? Yeah, oh my gosh, we're learning 2 new things. So that's a good thing. Actually 3, because we just learned about the intervals, right? So the first new thing we're learning a new time signature. Do you remember what a time signature was? Yeah? Oh, Adrian, you almost got it? Awesome. Oh yes, someone knows what a time signature is. Let me show you the new time signature we're learning today. Ooh. So we're learning the time signature called 3/4 time. okay? The one we had learned before was 4/4 time, okay? Now, do you remember what the top number meant? Sorta, kinda? The top number is telling you how many beats are going to be in each measure. So in this case, how many beats are going to be in our measure? There's going to be 3. You're absolutely right. And then the bottom number is telling you the kind of note that's going to get the beat. And in this case, it's still going to be the quarter note, right? Very good. So we're going to be counting to 3 instead of 4, right? All right. The second thing we are learning is a new type of note. I remember in our very first lesson, I introduced you to this note, but we hadn't actually seen it in music until today. So I will reintroduce you to this beautiful note called the dotted half note. You remember this guy? Do you remember how many beats he gets? He gets 3 beats. You're right. Very good. Yeah, all right. Very good. There's a lot of people down there. You guys have been practicing and doing your theory, I can tell. Yeah, so dotted half note gets 3 beats, okay? So if we needed to fill one measure of 3/4 time, how many of these would we need? Just one, right? Yeah, very good. Excellent job. Hey, y'all are really excited today. That's great. All right, well, now we gotta kind of like learn how to play this stuff, right? So let's take a look at the newest song, the second song you will practice this week. It's called Sailing, okay? We're gonna be in the grand staff C position, okay? I'm gonna find my spot. I'll switch to piano mode so you can see. So I'm in C position with my right hand, and I'm gonna find my left hand C position. Sailing is in 3/4 time, so we are going to only be counting to 3, right? And we have dotted half notes to begin, and it looks like our dynamic sign is mezzo forte, okay? Now this song does have a repeat, so when we get to the end of it, make sure that you boing back all the way to the beginning, okay? All right, you guys are great today. Let's start with our right hand finger 1 on C. All right, let me count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, E, F, G, 2, 3. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. F, E, D, C, 2, 3. Repeat. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. D, E, F, G, 2, 3. Left hand 3. G, 2, 3. F, E, D, C, 2, 3. Hey, that was really fun. Did you enjoy that song? I really love Sailing. I think it's one of the most fun beginner songs that we have in this book because it's just like, it feels more expressive to me. And it's fun to think about being like on a boat or something. You're like 1, 2, 3. It's kind of nice. So that's really, really great. You did a wonderful job on that one. Did you think it was tricky or was it okay? It was okay? Nice. Good. Okay. Well, let's see if we can play it again. Okay, because we already know that the more you play it, the better you get at it, right? Okay, let's play it again. Okie dokie. Switching over. All right, so I have found my C and my left hand. Have you found your spot? Are you ready? Okay, so let's count off. 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. always tricky there, having that transition with the repeat sign, right? It kind of like surprises you at the end. You're like, wow, I have to play this again. And then you have to like prepare yourself for those quick 3 beats, those dotted half notes right there again, right? Yeah, so Sailing, that is such a great song. I think there's some really interesting stuff that we could do with this song too. Now, I am going to give you a challenge for this week, okay? So, I think if you're up for a challenge, which I think most of you might be, I want you to do an awesome job practicing Sailing, and I want you to do one thing to it, okay? Now, instead of playing it at middle C, you know, our regular grand staff C position, what I want you to do is move your hands up an octave. Okay, that's a really big word, but it just means you're going to find the C that's 1 or 8 notes higher, and move your left hand 8 notes higher, and then play Sailing up there. You're probably wondering, well, why is Miss Izzy making me do this? It's kind of weird. I promise you there is something really cool that I'm going to try this week, okay? Let me show you in piano mode so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so for the regular spot, here we are in middle in that grand staff C position, right? This is where we usually play. Now what I'm going to have you do is you're going to move your right hand to this C up here. Do you see that one up there? I found my 2 black key group, and then there's my C. And then my left hand, I'm going to move that one up to where my right hand used to be. It's kind of weird, we're like playing up here now, right? Now I want you to be able to play it up there for a very special reason. I am going to play the teacher part, which is that line at the very bottom there. And I want to see if I can play along with you, okay? This is going to be kind of tricky. Yes, Lynette, we're doing a duet. You are right. We're going to try and do a teacher-student duet. But I need you to practice your student part very, very well, okay? So, if you can, practice up here an octave higher for Sailing. And make sure you've got your beats very nice and even, okay? Once you've done that and you're ready to record, make sure mom or dad records you and then send it to, or post it in the private group or send it to my email, and I will see if I can play along with your video, okay? It's gonna sound amazing, I promise, okay? Let's, just for good measure, let's see if we can practice it one time up here in the 2nd octave, okay? All right, let me give you some time to find your spot, okay? Oh, some of you are excited. All right, so we're up here in, we'll call this high C position, okay? And we're gonna start at the beginning of Sailing. Let's play it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, ready, and play. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, E, F, G, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, G, 2, 3, F, E, D, C, 2, 3. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, D, did you get through it? That is totally crazy, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I see some of you typing on there, oh my gosh, Miss Izzy, this is mind-blowing. It is. I know it's tricky, and I know it's kind of a challenge for you guys, but I think you can do it. I think you can do it, okay? Just give yourself some time to practice. If you find that it's very frustrating to move it up an octave, you can practice it in the regular spot. That's fine too. I'm not forcing you to do this. Remember, this is a challenge. If you want to, you can do it. If you don't really feel like it, that's okay too. All right? I think y'all are gonna do wonderful. Yes. Okay, great. Well, that was our second song that we have learned for this week, okay? Everybody feeling good? Let's get the wiggles out a little bit. I think we're a little tense about that duet, huh? Let's wiggle. Very good. It's good to get the wiggles out sometimes, right? All right, wonderful. Well, so those are going to be your two songs. You're going to practice Just a Second and Sailing. And if you feel like doing the challenge, go ahead and bump up Sailing 1 octave, okay? And when you submit your video for Miss Izzy to check it, or for me to check it, then I will try and do the duet part with you, okay? Yes, I'll post instructions for this challenge in the group so that everybody has the information they need, okay? Excellent. Okay, so now we got to take a look at our theory book, okay? You thought you were going to get off without some theory, huh? Nope. All right, get that theory book, everyone. Very nice. Okay, so I think we're going to turn to page 14, okay? So for your theory today, and for this week, we have a page on measuring seconds. Okay, do you see that there? Yeah, excellent. So that page right there, it basically reviews what we learned about intervals today. We learned about the interval of a second, right? Notes right next to each other, or like steps, right? Or going up the stairs one by one. Note, and those can go from line note to space note, or space note to line note, okay? So you'll follow the directions carefully because they give you some really weird directions, and you're gonna write in those note names, right? Now, when you go to number 4 at the bottom of 14, this is a really tricky exercise, so you really need to think critically about the instruction that it's giving you, because you have to write the notes in yourself, okay? If it's hard, go ahead and ask the question in the group and we can go over it together, okay? All right, the other page we're going to be doing is page 15, okay? Let's see. There you go. This is on the dotted half note and 3/4 time, okay? This one here has a review of measures, drawing some bar lines and a double bar at the end, and doing some musical math equations at the end too, okay? You can do this one, all right? Excellent. So that's it for your theory, 2 pages, all right? Remember, on Mondays we have practice with me, okay? That's kind of like a bonus, right? I practice with you on your songs to make sure that you're feeling extra good about them, right? It's very important to hop on Mondays if that is something that you find useful. If you can't join me live, don't worry. I always post the videos afterward, okay? Just so you have that available to you. And yes, okay, so that's it for the lesson goes. We have also my reminder of my tips. If you want to help support me in these lessons, I will gladly accept a tip in my virtual tip jar. I accept PayPal. My email is encoremusichtx@gmail.com. My Venmo is Izzy Chia, and my Cash App is IZZI3CH3A. Thanks for letting me say that. Yes. Okay, and then I guess that's it. We've got our music quote. Are you ready for your quote today? Yes. Okay, so our quote today comes from the German writer Bertold Auerbach. That's a mouthful. And what he says is this: music washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. That's a really good quote, isn't it? Sometimes we get like in these like where everything feels very dry and boring and gray and dusty, right? And music has a way of like sweeping all that away, doesn't it? It just puts you in a much better mood, and it makes you feel happy again, right? Yeah, super cool. Well, keep that in mind, all right? That's a really good quote. Now, thank you so much for tuning in. I saw that this video has been super, super engaging, so I'm glad that everybody's really enjoying them. I'll see you Monday for practice with me, okay? Have a good weekend.